I, female 23, have been planning a family vacation with my older brother, 30, and his wife, my two nieces, toddlers, and my parents. Everyone is paying for their tickets. The vacation is booked for February. We hadn't discussed room arrangements before, but I knew the suite we'd be staying in would have 3 bedrooms. So we discussed room arrangements yesterday, and my brother and parents just assumed that I wouldn't mind sharing a room with my nieces, while my brother, his wife, and my parents get their own rooms. I said I didn't want to share a room with them, and that they should be sleeping in my brother and sister-in-law's room, since they're their parents. My parents called me dramatic, and said that it's not a big deal, and said that my nieces wouldn't give me any trouble. I told them I didn't care. They said I was being a bad aunt and told me to grow up. I told them that if I didn't get my own room, I'd cancel my ticket, which would result in everyone else having to pay more or find someone else to go in my place because we got a group discount with the resort. My brother said that I was a whiny idiot and accused me of being a narcissist. Not the idiot. And can you tell those kids' parents that they're bad parents and grow up? I get that they probably want to have intimacy while on vacation, but geez, they made a choice to have kids. They made a choice to bring them along. So why do the consequences of all those choices fall on you? You've made the threat and they've called your bluff, basically. This isn't a trip you'll want to go on, right? If she's a bad aunt, then they're bad parents. Bro wanted free childcare, and if your parents have a problem with you declining, their door's wide open. They can share their room with their granddaughters. You're paying your way and should have complete control over your room on vacation. But don't be surprised if they tell you, okay, just to keep you from canceling, and then blindside you once you're on vacation. Such small kids do not go to bed easily and don't stay asleep all night, so you'll likely be dealing with them during the night. And they go to bed early, so you'll be creeping around trying to be quiet in your own space when you get ready for bed. The kids need to stay with their parents or you cancel. Easy peasy. It doesn't make you a bad aunt not wanting to room with them. Agree. OP, your nieces are too young. They should sleep in the room with their parents because of their age. If they were teens, I could understand giving them their own room. I think your brother and sister-in-law just want a free babysitter. I hate when people with kids want to go on vacation, bring their kids, and dump them on someone else. This is your vacation, and you don't have kids. Yep, if I was going on vacation and wanted a sitter, I'd bring a babysitter, pay for their accommodations, and work that out beforehand. OP, it's your vacation too. I'd cancel and go somewhere else alone. No offense to toddlers, but you weren't the one who spawned them, so you shouldn't be the one that has to walk around on eggshells when they're asleep. And if there's no other option, you should be compensated for it at the very least. My husband is disabled, so we got him a service dog 4 months ago to help him daily. My brother and his family lost their home and asked to move in with us for a few weeks till they found another place to stay. My niece teen started complaining about the service dog, making her uncomfortable. It's strange, she has no allergies, nothing, but she's just uncomfortable. So she told my brother and he asked if I could move the dog. I said no. This dog is literally as helpful as a human being when it comes to people with disabilities, and he's incredibly smart. More importantly, he minds his own business and never bothers my niece, but she's just uncomfortable with him for some reason. My brother and his wife started begging, saying it was temporary, but I refused. They said that my husband doesn't need the dog much since he's home most of the time, yet I still refused. They tried talking to my husband directly, but I shut that down immediately. My brother's wife started an argument with me right after my brother went to work, and she started yelling about how I value a dog over my niece and her comfort. I said it wasn't just the dog, but it was my husband who needed him. My brother came home and we kept arguing. Finally, he said that I was being unsupportive and cruel to my niece, who's already been through enough. My husband got involved and asked me to take him to his father's house with the dog, but I said no, not after what his dad said to me, and that he and the dog are staying. My brother and his wife are in the guest room, sulking hard, while my niece ignores me. Meanwhile, my husband is sitting in the kitchen now, trying to convince me to let him go stay with his dad to keep the peace with my brother. This man, my husband, is like this all the time, always willing to do what others want just to keep the peace. You can literally cuss him out, and he'll apologize to you like it was his fault. But he thinks he owes people for accepting him as a disabled man, which is sad. And it's true, he's home most of the time, but he still needs his service dog throughout the day. Am I the idiot for refusing to move the dog temporarily? My niece is upset with me. Edit. The reason I refused to let my husband go stay with his dad is because of what he said to him the last time he was there. He basically called him useless and a failure. He also told him he was good for nothing because we couldn't get pregnant. But that's an infertility issue we've been dealing with for years. It's too late now to have kids, me 34, him 37, but we still don't appreciate these types of comments from his dad of all people. Not the idiot. You're a good partner, and don't let your husband go stay with his father. Tell your brother and sister-in-law that if their family's uncomfortable with the dog, a medicinal necessity for your disabled husband, they should find other living accommodations. Beggars can't be choosers, so keep advocating for your husband. Also, you're not too old to have kids. 34 is not old at all. I'm concerned that the princess niece or her parents will harm the dog somehow. For your husband, it is a need. For your niece, it's a want. Need triumphs over want. Your brother and his family are being ungrateful for your allowing them to live there while they find other accommodations. Perhaps they should now try harder to get out and make their daughter less uncomfortable. Don't temporarily move your dog. Permanently move your brother and his family. They can find somewhere their daughter will feel comfortable. Protect your husband and his precious pup. I'm a teen male, having my birthday in less than a month, and my parents had talked about throwing me a party with my friends and family there to celebrate. So I let myself get excited about it, which I'm starting to feel was dumb. See, I have a little sister, Ava, and she's pre-tween. She was a baby my parents tried to have for a few years after I was born, but struggled, and then she was born prematurely. It meant my parents had to put a lot of time into her when she was little. It meant a lot of the time, our world revolved around her. Back then, I would hear people say that things would return to normal once she was a little older. They never really did. My parents prioritized Ava over me. I know she's a lot younger, and it makes sense at times. Here are some examples of it, but not all. 2 years ago for Christmas, I really wanted a PS5. I made a deal with my parents that if I saved up X amount of money, they would pay the rest for it as a gift. A drop came close by us, and I had the money. Mom told me that Ava needed a haircut, and they wanted to pamper her a little because she'd been to the developmental pediatrician, which she hated. So the money that would have gone to the PS5 went to her, and I never got the PS5. Instead, I got some clothes and food stuff for Christmas, and the food was share items we got, not even my favorites. My high school held an award ceremony in May to celebrate students who helped improve the school. I was given one for helping others in school and acting as a mentor. Unfortunately, Ava's school play was on the same day, and my parents chose to go to the school play instead of the award ceremony. They didn't even remember to ask me about it when I got home. My birthdays have always been more aimed at something Eva will enjoy too. We do Chuck E. Cheese where I can bring a friend, or they hire a bounce house for the family to come over, but always a smaller one, which means I don't get to enjoy it because of younger kids and a small bounce house. The spotlight always goes to her at least once. She's blown out my birthday candles since she was 2. This year, I really thought it would be different. All the plans sounded really fun too. Then my parents found out Ava was being bullied in school and was having a rough time. They told me she wasn't looking forward to anything, including my party, and that they thought it would be nice to do something she could enjoy and give her some of the spotlight on that day, at which time we assure her she's loved and wanted. I told them it was my birthday, and I thought they wanted me to enjoy it. They told me that they do, but Ava needed this and Ava needs that, and as her big brother, I should be thinking about how to make her feel special. I told them I deserved to feel that way too. Then I told them if they were going to do this to me again, then I was done. I told them not everything needs to be about Ava. She might be their whole world, their entire focus in life, but she's not mine. My parents got so mad at me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They have 2 kids, not 1, and you deserve attention sometimes. Instead, they're raising you to resent your sister. I hope you have a supportive friend group who knows about this and can cheer you up. Unfortunately, you are the black sheep, and Ava's the golden child. But at least you only have to endure 2 more years of this BS until you go to college. This story is heartbreaking. They're not doing any favors to either of their kids. OP's gonna go no contact when he gets old enough, and his parents are gonna wonder why. Also, she's probably getting bullied because she makes a fuss at school when she doesn't get her way. OMG, it's your birthday. There are 365 other days in a year to do something special for Ava. Hun, you do deserve a day to be about you. It is absolutely not okay what your parents are doing. They suck and you deserve better. You got that award because you're sending good out into the world, and one day you will be surrounded by people who value you. Before I found out I was pregnant, my marriage was really bad, and we were essentially separated. Some of my husband's family were upset when we decided to work on things because they felt like I was ungrateful and that I had humiliated my husband and their family, so he should have left me. My brother-in-law's wife was probably the most vocal and nasty about it, but she never said a mean thing around my husband. I ended up recording her telling me that my husband only tolerated me now because I was pregnant, and that he would throw me out as soon as the baby wasn't inside me anymore. I told her if she didn't leave me alone, I would show my husband, which made her stop. That was over a year ago, and she recently asked me if I still had the recording and asked me to delete it when I told her I did. I refused, even though she's been nice to me recently, and now she and her husband are angry at me because I won't delete it, and it would cause big problems if my husband saw it, especially now. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot for keeping it hidden from your husband, like the world's crappiest surprise present. Either tell him about it or delete it. Don't sit there hoarding blackmail against this family and expect him to one day thank you for it. I'm curious why this is the approach, when it would almost certainly create massive drama. Why not just lie and say she deleted it? If sister-in-law behaves, then no issue. If sister-in-law feels like nothing's holding her back and starts being an idiot again, show him. Lying to keep the peace is a valuable resource. Right. Who keeps compromat on their family? Everyone's the idiot here. Your sister-in-law sucks for what she said, and you suck for essentially blackmailing her and keeping this info from your husband. OP, they're being nice to you because you still have it. Show it to your husband now before she has a chance to spin it. If it comes out later you've been holding blackmail material, that'll be a bad look on you. Not the idiot. Sounds like you found the magic formula to stop her nastiness. Naturally, she wants that to go away. I bet if you did delete the recording, her behavior would deteriorate. My late mother liked to leave poisonous voice messages. After one especially bonkers message, I told her that maybe I should play it for her doctor in case she's had a stroke. She got real quiet and said, "What do you mean, play it?" Yeah, she hadn't thought about leaving evidence of her abuse, which she always saved from when we were alone. So keep it. It ensures your sister-in-law's behavior, it seems, and appropriately so, since she doesn't seem to have a nice comment for you otherwise. But what's your end goal here? Are you trying to or have succeeded in bettering your relationship with your husband and his family? Are you waiting for the next time she upsets you to reveal the video then? Why would you allow your in-laws to abuse you and never tell your husband verbally? Tell him. Stop saving this just in case. You clearly aren't going to use it, and she'll realize that one day and go back to treating you horribly. Why play nice with people who don't like you? Why do this to yourself? If you want your marriage to work, you need honesty. So this drama revolves around my brother's fiance, Sarah. Sarah is dramatic and gossipy. It always has to be something with her. She's always talking about someone else in a negative light behind their backs, and I cannot stand it, to tell you the truth. However, I put it aside because she's my future sister-in-law, and I just want to keep the peace. My sisters and I always have a girls' night out once a month. When my other brother married his wife, Angie, we started to invite her out with us as well because we all liked her. When Sarah learned about these nights, She asked to join us when she was engaged, and we agreed even though most of us don't like her. Unfortunately, Sarah has never liked Angie, which has made the nights harder to deal with because Sarah will just ignore her. Angie's an angel and puts up with it though. Last week, Angie was sick and missed the night. Sarah took it as an opportunity to trash talk her all night. Angie does not have a college degree and only has her GED, and Sarah would not shut up about how much of a moron she was all night. Sarah has her master's in biology, and intelligence is one of her favorite things to insult people about. After I had a bit to drink, I had enough of it. Angie's one of the sweetest people I've ever met, and has never once said a bad thing about Sarah. After Sarah finished one of her insults about Angie being the farthest from traditionally intelligent, I said, "Is the reason you're insulting Angie here like a coward is because she's traditionally beautiful and you're the furthest from that?" Sarah's about 300 pounds and by all regards, quite ugly. This is a massive trigger point for her. I know she has emotional issues surrounding her weight. We got into a fight and I ended up tearing her appearance apart, point by point, until she was visibly near tears. In the end, I told her that I was doing exactly what she does when she gossips about people. I only talked about her like she talks about others, just to her face, unlike her. This ruined the night and we all went home separately. Well, now it's all broken loose. Sarah's demanding an apology, and I will not give it to her. My sisters agree that what I said was in line with what Sarah says about others, but disagree with me and say that I should not have lowered myself to her level. Last night I got a call from my brother, and now Sarah's threatening to postpone their marriage if I don't apologize, which in my opinion says more about her than anything I could have said, but I actually feel bad now that I've had the time to think about it. Don't apologize. She got what she deserved. However, you guys should have called her out immediately after she started trashing Angie. Tell your brother you will not apologize for treating her like she treats others. It would be best if you also told her that you guys didn't want to hang out with her when she first asked. It's everyone's the idiot here situation. I agree. You should have stepped up when she started talking crap about Angie, rather than sitting there and stewing. And you also need to be an adult and say that you don't want to spend time with her. The only reason this conflict emerged is that you don't communicate like adults. Not the idiot. She trashed your friend and you stuck up for her. Sarah sounds extremely emotionally immature to demand that, and also to threaten to postpone the wedding. Your brother is in for a nightmare marriage if she'd do that just to be spiteful. It's controlling and narcissistic. If he hasn't got kids with this woman, I would urge you to get your brother to see her for what she is and not marry her. Let her postpone the wedding and give her time to show her true colors some more. I think it's a bonus if she wants to break off the wedding. Remind everyone that it's her choice. She must be two-faced because I can't imagine what OP's brother sees in her. On the other hand, you did let her have a taste of her own medicine by repeating what she says about others. It sucks to suck. And honestly, it's not like having a master's degree necessarily makes you all that smart. Yeesh.